Walmart used to have these like toy slot things you could put a quarter in, and then when you pull them out, and they could bring like temporary tattoos. And so I put a bunch of quarters into it, and I got out like a panther, an eagle. It was like traditional looking tattoos, and I put them on my neck. And so the next day, we were going to church, and my mom's like, "What is on your neck?" And I was like, "Oh, it's just like a sticker." And she was like, "Take it off then." And I was like, "I can't." She was like, "Why?" And I was like, "Because this is me." My name is Yves. I am a model, a musician, and a dedicated and committed social activist. I grew up kind of sheltered. I had some difficulties talking about myself, loving myself, accepting myself. But as I got older, I changed drastically and became more open, and now I can't stop talking. I was in a predominantly white neighborhood. I think the interesting thing about being a Black person or a person of color is that you always know what you look like, but people feel the need to remind you of what you look like as if you don't know. When I was in high school, I unfortunately tried to take my own life. And when that happened, there were certain people who I considered my friends who didn't really reach out. You kind of have this moment where you sort of realize that you're all you've got. And so you tell yourself, what are we gonna do with what we've got, and how are we gonna tackle life, knowing that like we are our biggest supporter and also our biggest enemy. And so I tapped into the part of myself that is my biggest supporter and just kind of said, I don't really give a what people think. But you know, when you're a child and you hear certain things and you hear certain types of rhetoric in regards to your appearance, they don't really sink in until you get older and you realize that the things that kids were saying to you were actually pretty mean. And so that was a lot of my childhood, and just keeping all of that inside and not really sticking up for myself or calling it out, which is why I think now as an adult, I am so bold and I have more spine when it comes to things of that nature, even if they don't directly involve me. If you are talking about someone who I can identify with or care about or is a part of my community, then I'm going to respond to you as if you're talking about me, because they represent me and I represent them. So I treat it as such.
Do you remember the first time you ever saw somebody with tattoos?
I used to be obsessed with Good Charlotte when I was in elementary school. I remember seeing this picture of them. They had like tattoos on their throats, their arms, their hands, and I was like, exactly. Yep, this is it. And the first time I had seen so many tattoos in person, I was at Walmart, and this woman was walking out of the automatic doors, and she was just covered. And I was like, yeah, this is what's gonna happen. This is happening. On my chest, I have nothing lasts forever. And it's still like, I still have it, it's not covered up. And it kind of like reigns true to the way that I feel now and the way that I felt back then. And it's pretty much that, you know, no emotion that we go through lasts us forever. I love that I still have it, and I love that it was my first one because I look at it and it just takes me back to when I was just like this 14-year-old kid who just wanted to be covered, and like I was like, I'm gonna get tattooed on my chest. I'm so cool.
How was the reaction at home? I mean, we saw the reaction to the temporary tattoos.
Well, I remember at first I was wearing a shirt over it, and we had went to the beach, and I went into the water with my shirt on, and my mom was like, "Why is your shirt on?" And I was like, "You know, this is my style." And so I finally took my shirt off. She was like, "What is that?" And like on the spot, I was like, "Oh, it's a airbrush tattoo from the fair." And I was like, "Yeah, like it lasts a year. It's not permanent. It's like, but it doesn't wash off either. But it looks real, right? It's cool, yeah?" She was like, "Yeah." But then when I was around 14 going on 15, I got my face tattooed. And then I was like, "That's real. That's a real tattoo." And I was like, "Yeah, it is." And so I was actually surprised by the reaction, and in a good way, but it was my school actually, my high school, because I shared this before, but my school actually kicked me out because of my face being tattooed. I remember adults being around me and people telling me things like, you're never gonna have a job, but I have always worked, like since I've been tattooed. I have never not had a job, which I think is something that people, I think are slowly starting to learn in this current period that we're in, is that it's not so much about your work appearance, but your work ethic. I don't think that tattoos should automatically be this hindrance when it comes to furthering your future or furthering your career or furthering your life. Being heavily tattooed, it helps me know who to stay away from as well, because automatically people have something so quick to say or have such like quick snap judgment to make on you without even knowing who you are, and I'm just like, well, we're not gonna be friends. Sick. I'm gonna go get a bagel. Like it's just like, you're just helping me navigate through my life easier, knowing that like I don't have to worry about talking to you about anything or explaining anything about myself, because it's just, let's not waste each other's time. But you're helping me by letting me know that you think I look scary. The moment for me where I was like, I'm a tattooed person was maybe my freshman year of college, when I had gone to this like sort of casting situation for one of the photo studios at my college, and they had written down heavily tattooed as like in parentheses, like next to my name, and I was like, I guess. But I've also have had moments that aren't very positive, where it's been made known to me that I'm heavily tattooed. Like I've either been stopped by the police or arrested. I was also once in Austin, Texas, and I was going to this bar pub with a friend just to hang out because I don't drink, and they wouldn't serve me because my face is tattooed. I feel like when you are someone who deals with hatred to a degree that is like out of your control, you unfortunately develop this like water off a duck's back kind of response to certain things, just knowing when and when not to give something your energy. Because not everything deserves your energy, not everything deserves your words. And that's what I've learned too, just being the way that I am, not even physically and socially, but politically. The things that I care about is just knowing that every battle is not my own and every argument isn't mine.
I want to know how your approach to getting tattooed has changed.
Well, now I'm definitely more cautious, I guess, whenever I'm getting tattooed, knowing that like once something goes in a specific space, that's it. It is, I would say, a part of the experience as well. Because as I get older, I've experienced more life. I've experienced more heartbreak, more hardship, but also more triumphs as well. And it's still healing right now, but I just got 10, the word 10, going down on my face here, opposite of 9. And I got 10 because I'm 10 years sober as of June 16th. And the artist who did it is 25 years sober. And it was just so cool to me to get this mark of this decade done by an artist who is also sober, because I aspire to be clean for that long, because it's an everyday battle and fight. For me, like, I love my tattoo, but the experience of getting tattooed by someone who is also sober is very, very, very special to me. Because whenever I look at the 10, I won't just think about myself. I also think about this amazing artist who has been clean for 25 years, and it'll help me to aspire to reach that and hit 26 years. It was very important to me to be able to go to artists who had experienced tattooing darker skin. We don't speak about or stress enough how uncomfortable it can be as a person of a darker skin tone going to get tattooed, especially when it's in regards to something that you like, something that you love, that you've been saving up for, something that means something to you, only to have someone say, I don't know how to tattoo your complexion, which to me doesn't make any sense, because it's as if you were like a makeup artist or a hair artist. Are you simply a white makeup artist or a white hair artist? Or so when you're a tattoo artist, are you just a tattoo artist who tattoos white skin? Or are you a tattoo artist who tattoos skin?
You're 13 years old. You don't have any tattoos.
Yeah.
Would you do it all again? Or would you do it all the same way you have?
Absolutely, yes. I was in some sticky situations. Oh, like just really, really bad situations. I remember also when I was an addict, I would like, not only was I like selling like my clothes and like stealing jewelry from my parents' house to get money for drugs, but also to get money for tattoos. And I remember like 5 o'clock in the morning, sometimes like sneaking out to go to some dude's garage to get tattooed. And I still have those tattoos till this day. These are just stories that I can tell my kids about things not to do. And if there's ever a time that when I do something, like I have done so much and experienced so much, I'm just like, hey, like talk to your dad. So I wouldn't change any of it at all, and I would do it all the same, because I feel like even if there was like 1 second of time that was different, I would have never become this person. And I would never be this way, and I would never be as careful and also as reckless as I am in this moment. And I'm thankful for the recklessness, and I'm also thankful for the carefulness, because they exist one and the same. When I was 13 and before I made my journey onto Modification Mountain, I never would have thought that it would turn into this, but damn it, I'm so grateful. I'm just so grateful and so proud to be this heavily tattooed Black, beautiful, queer man who is able to navigate in so many different communities and spaces, and while still being myself in all of these spaces.